Hi, everyone, and welcome to Youth Amplified,
a podcast that inspires, empowers, and connects.
I'm Ronna.
And I'm Brian. And in the spotlight today, sport, more than a medal. Role models who lead with values, not just with victories.
We're joined around the table by Kaitlin, Russ, Erica, and co-captain of the Tigers Physical Disability Rugby League, Mark Keaton. So let's dive right in.
I think so, Ronna. Caitlin's just next to me, so I'll start there. Well, Kaitlin, talking about sport, do you think society places too much emphasis on winning in sport? What might be missing?
I think society mainly focuses on the scoreboard. The true reason we play sport is, for friends, enjoy it, learn new skills. And I think sometimes winning can get in the way, and it's more about, for basketball, how many points did you score and what type of skills do you have?
Now, Erica, over to you. Can you name an athlete who's inspired you because of how they behave off the field rather than on it?
Ned Brockman, the person that ran around Australia.
Yes.
He doesn't play rugby league, but he's a major influence in my life. Just he's so humble, he's just a beautiful person. Never met him, but he's a beautiful person. My sporting hero is Tino. You would know him, Tino from the Titans. I can't say his last name, but Tino, the number 10 or number 8, just workhorse. And him off the field is the same values that he brings on the field. So,
Amazing.
Mark's nodding there. You know him?
Yeah.
I'll say Benji Marshall. I met him in person. A very good player.
Russ, what does success in sport look to you? Beyond the medals and the trophies.
That's a good question. I think so. One NBA player was actually asked this question as well. He was actually asked it indoor. So he did win the playoffs, unfortunately, and he was asked, "Do you see this season as a failure?" And I think, very similar to your question, I think even though he did make the playoffs, it's still, I think one of the biggest things that he said is it's steps to success. And I think even though you might not necessarily win, one of the things you mentioned before, it's about the bonds, the chemistry, the friendships you form with your team, with the people around you. But also if you're playing team sports especially, you guys are always going to be, going to places, visiting, sharing different experiences together. And I think, that's one of the biggest ways that sport, can actually be a success rather than, focusing on the winning, per se.
Good answer. There's so much of the bond that forms across all the players, right? Now, Mark, your turn next. I'm really interested to hear, what's your earliest memory of being inspired by an athlete or sports team?
Well, like I said just then, with Tigers, of course.
Yes.
Memory of sport,
Yeah.
2005, with Tigers winning the grand final.
Now, Erica, in talking about moments in sport, have you witnessed a moment in sport, could be local or state or global, where values like fairness, inclusion, or courage, took the spotlight rather than the competition itself?
in park footy around here, I don't know if there's one moment, but I play in the Southern Corridor comp. So we verse teams from all the way from Cronulla all the way up to Wollongong.
Wow.
And in Campbelltown as well. And there's a certain team, they travel all the way from Cronulla, and most of their players on that team play for the Cronulla Sharks women's, in their feeder comps. And their whole team, they know they have talent, but one game we only had 11 players and we were meant to play with 13. They had 13 and they played with 11 for us.
Wow.
So it wasn't just one moment, but the whole game. And they still beat us, but it wasn't about the score. Like, they've got one of their forwards I look up to, her name's Falila, and she knows how to play, like, she's very, very talented. And even, like, she would sit off. So others, yeah, and it was just empowering. Yeah.
So inspiring, all of these stories that we're hearing. And I think sports itself plays such a significant role in our communities. And now, Kaitlin, over to you.
Yes.
Talking about communities, how can young athletes become role models in their own communities, no matter their level or title?
I think just being a role model in general, showing good sportsmanship. I know young athletes, like, smaller children, they look up to even kids my age when they see playing and stuff. So I think, like, obviously having the right attitude and kind of showing them what a good player looks like on and off the court.
I think taking the ball out of the serious part of the field. Erica, what sport would be the funniest to play if everyone had to wear giant foam mascot suits?
The funniest.
Yes.
Swimming. I feel like, because how would you swim? Like, that would be, like, pretty funny. But on a field, I'd like to see, like, AFL or, like, a ball sport, like, with that, because I feel like it'd be hard and hard to tackle. Like, yeah.
Any sport, really. I was just thinking about, like, how basketball players would do that. I have no idea. I think swimming would be pretty interesting. Basketball, I don't think it would be as fun. I think, yeah, maybe like a sport with more space, like any kind of field sports. Maybe soccer would be pretty cool.
So funny. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What do you think, Keaton? You're the basketball player.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about just trying to dribble in, like, a big costume would be really but yeah, no, swimming would be funny because even if you're, like, saying a float, that'd be like, really fun.
Now, a question for you, Russ. Now, can sport be a platform for social change? And if so, what causes have athletes championed that left a mark on you?
I think when it comes to professional sport in particular, like those athletes, they're really well known, one, for their work ethic. Obviously they've built themselves up to a point where, they have the privilege to be able to play professional sport. I think a lot of athletes will also talk about it, playing, doing something they love as a privilege.
Yep.
And I think when you get to that level, you almost have an obligation to actually give back to the community that you're from, to people who are less advantaged, less of position than you are in. And I think organizations like the NBA have done it, specifically for Black Lives Matter. Back in a few years, where a couple of players, they took a stand. They're wearing shirts. They actually refused to play. So I think that's actually a pretty good example of some social changes you could actually do using sport as an actual vessel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Very, very true. Very true. Mark, how important do you think it is for coaches, captains, or even senior players to model good character, not just good performance?
With that is the players should go out and perform on the field, on and off the field.
Yeah. And Mark, will stay with you. What challenges have you seen or experienced around inclusion in sport?
For myself or in person.
Both.
Both. Interesting
So,
to hear.
and for myself, I basically, like I said, I started playing in 2022.
Yes.
Just sitting around twiddling my thumbs one day, and
Yeah.
I've decided to pick up a ball and go and have a bit of fun.
Right.
And since then, I had not looked back at one thing. I support local teams around the Macarthur district, and they support me too, as in what I do now.
How cool.
And I'm loving every bit of it because we're a community,
Yeah.
and that's what we are.
That's great. And were there hurdles at all through that journey?
There was,
Yeah.
but I basically worked through it.
Nice.
People can go out and you put your mind on it,
Yeah.
you can go out and do it yourself. No one's not holding you back and going, no, I can't do that.
Absolutely.
Get out there and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Get out there and show off what you got. It took me a while to do it, but I look where I am now.
Yeah. Hence you are co-captain.
Yeah.
Now, Erica, if you're making a good sports superhero squad, what powers would your superheroes have?
Listening skills.
Oh,
Because
We'll
nice.
just say Superman.
yeah. I would like ideally they need to have listening skills because like you're constantly learning. Like you may think that you know everything, but someone else always knows something more. You obviously need to be strong. So like that was where you'd have like a Superman or a Batman. But yeah, you would have women on the team. I would make it diverse. So having both men and women and all different abilities.
Great.
So yeah.
Now, Mark, back to you.
He's under the fire.
Yeah, I feel better now.
Now, what values or life skills has sport taught you, or if someone else has taught you, and you're finding that it's applying to your daily life?
Person who's had disability. I've got cerebral palsy, as in birth, born in birth. It doesn't set you back on anything. Go out there and give it a red hot go. Go out there and follow your dream. Go out there and have fun.
That's inspiring. That's really good.
That's a great message for those out there, actually.
Absolutely.
Kaitlin, back to you. What do you think schools or clubs or communities, could do to encourage value-driven sport?
I think that more so, kind of like you were saying, make it more just about fun. I think, like we were saying before, that it's really just about, who's winning and who has the best skills. I think kind of making it more of an inclusive space for everyone of a range of skills would definitely help kind of show what values actually matter.
Well, I think just giving everybody an equal opportunity to really just give it a go. I think that's something that Australia, I feel like, does really well. Is just encouraging that, that whole philosophy of, just giving things a fair go and giving everybody equal opportunity to try their best and whatever it is they want to do, despite what, who they are, how old they are. I think having communities as well be the actual vessel, and then having, people in the community who can, really try to, again, really get people together, hold community events, doing things not necessarily for money, but, rather for participation and just, partaking in the phenomenon of sport, really. Because again, sports is just fun, Sports is fun, first and foremost, doesn't matter what sport it is. Yeah.
Oh, we've come to the end.
We have, the clock tells us that.
We can keep going. But we do thank you, Kaitlin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Erica. And thank you, Mark, for joining us.
Until next fortnight, let's continue to inspire, empower, and connect. And remember,
Your voice matters.